Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. But if it's your first time to come here on this channel, I encourage you to click the subscribe button down below, and of course don't forget to click the notification bell button for you to be notified every time that I upload a video here on this channel. So for today's video guys, I will be discussing how to purchase a pre-owned car. So if you're interested how we purchased our pre-owned car, please keep on watching. So I have here a list of the steps that we did in order to purchase the pre-owned truck that we have right now, which is the car of Mac right now. So the reason why we needed an extra car is for us to be able to work separately, especially now that he is working in a different state and I'm working still here in Iowa. So for more than a year, we only used one car, which is still okay for us because during that time we were just working in the same hospital, even though we don't have the same schedule, but we have the same shift. So we're both night shift, so it still work for us. But for you guys who don't have like the same shifts, like for example the other one will be working day and the other one will be working night, you will probably need an extra car. So if you're looking to purchase your extra car, you might want to consider purchasing a pre-owned car, because purchasing a pre-owned car is more affordable, I believe, compared to a brand new car. Well, it will still depends on the car that you want. Even though you're gonna get a pre-owned car, if it's still high-end car, it's still expensive. So this is how we bought our pre-owned car. So the first one that I will suggest to you guys is to build your credit score. So if there is a possibility, if you still don't need that extra car, then I encourage you to build your credit score first, because that will be a big difference when it comes to your APR or your annual percentage rate. You will have lower interest rate compared to credit score that is still low. So what I got here is the lowest credit score that you can have is 300 to 579. That is still poor credit score. 580 to 669, that is fair. 670 to 739, that is already considered good. And 740 to 799, that is considered very good. And 800 to 850, that is excellent. So when we got our second car, my APR during that time was 800 something. I didn't even expect to have a credit score like that. So when we checked our credit score last year, when I was applying for a new credit card, I believe my credit score was 750s, like that, for less than a year of staying here in the US. And now that I stayed here in the US for more than a year, or 5 months before I turned 2 years here in the US, my credit score is now 830 something when they checked it when we bought our car. But unfortunately with Max, since he doesn't have a lot of accounts yet, his score is just a little bit lower than mine, but not in a bad situation. So we still got a really good APR, I believe. So if you are not in a hurry, I encourage you to build your credit score first before buying an extra car. Second thing that I want to share to you guys is to decide what car you really want to buy, for you to minimize the confusion in the long run, because you will be able to minimize the options. So if you want this brand, like for example you just want Toyota or Honda, and then ran down again what model or what unit of Honda do you want? Do you want this and what year? So that's how we did it. His option is to get a truck. So the trucks that are available on the market when he was looking for a truck is Toyota Tacoma, Chevrolet Silverado, and one other option I think, but then we decided on getting the Silverado because it will fit on the lifestyle that we want, or on the things that we want to do on this truck, because the Tacoma is kind of a little bit smaller, and I don't know, it's like in the towing capacity, because we want to tow something in the long run someday when we will have a budget. So if we will get a Tacoma right now, because if that is the available truck, we may not be able to tow a bigger camper someday. So that's the plan. So we opted on getting the Silverado, and the next thing that we decided on to is on what model or what year do we want to get. So we only decided on truck that is within the 5-year limit, so 23, 22, 21, 20, and 2019. So the oldest that we included in our option is 2019 to 2023, but the 2023 is already off because we cannot afford a brand new one. So 2022 to 2019 are just the options. Consider the brand, the unit, and the year. So decide on that stuff, not just, oh, I want a Honda. So what kind of Honda car do you really want? So minimize the options. The third thing that we did after deciding is to search online for car dealerships that have available stocks. So the only downside when buying a pre-owned car is they are not all available. I think Max searched tri-state. So when we say tri-state, it's Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota. And the first one that we saw is the cheapest among the trucks in tri-state. So with that price range that we want and with that model and all of that criteria that we want, so it was the cheapest. But then if you saw our vlog, we didn't get that car because unfortunately we were not able to apply faster than the other one who got the car. So that's the downside of it. So even if you really want the car already, if you were too slow to apply for it, then you will not be able to get it. And there are not a lot of options when it comes to pre-owned car, unlike when you are buying a brand new car. When you're searching online, you can already see the mileage, the year, the Carfax. They will be showing the Carfax in there. So Carfax is like, where is this car from? How old is the car? What were the accidents that got into this car? So you will see all of that. Even the oil change, I think, is included in that. So yeah, you will see a lot of information about the car that you're gonna get in the Carfax. So choose a dealership that will show the Carfax in their website, like for free. And if you decided to get that car, the fourth thing that I want to share to you is to go to the car dealership, check the car. So especially if you are here in the Midwest or any state that has snow, we encourage you to check the lower part of the car so that you will see any rust issues under the car as well, not just the engine, because if there are rust buildup already, then I think you might want to consider the price as well if the car is not in the good condition, like the body of the car, because in the states that have snows, cars are more prone to rust corrosion. So you might want to consider that as well. Do a drive test or road test, however you want to call it. So on the first truck that we saw, we checked it, but we didn't really do the drive test because we were like thinking that it's just still the first option and we're not decided yet. We're still gonna go home and pray for it and sleep through it and decide after a few days. But then unfortunately again we didn't get it because we were too slow. So yeah, do the drive test so that you will see how comfortable the car is. Like, is there any oversteering? Is that how you call it? We call it in the Tagalog language like kabig. So I think it's oversteer in English. I'm not sure, but and then also like other stuff, check the lights, the wipers if they are still good. You need to research on what to check on the cars that you really want to buy, not just, oh, the body looks good, oh, I can drive it, it's fine. No, because you will be spending a lot of money for this car. Even this is a pre-owned car, you still want to have the safe and a good car for you and your family, of course, and for you to get your worth of your money. And then if you're already comfortable with the car that you want to get, you're happy with it, you already fell in love with it. ask the car dealership for an average APR. Like for example, all the car dealership that we went to, they have like a list of APRs. Like they have a list of banks or credit unions that are offering this financing to the car dealership, and the usual APR is this. So they have a list, and then if your credit score is like this, the usual APR that you will get is this. That's how we did it in the first car dealership. But then when we went to the second car dealership, they don't have that kind of list. And the good thing that we went to this first car dealership is we already learned about the APRs that they are offering to us. So the second car dealership were like, oh, that is like too low, like we cannot compete on that APR. Like they were saying stuff like that because it's part of the business. They want to earn something through your APR, of course. They will link you to a financial institution like a bank or a credit union, but still they will earn from that financing, I believe. It's a business. It's a good thing that we learned about that, and we have a list of that. And they were saying that this credit union is offering this kind of APR for this kind of credit score. And then I told them that, oh, that is kind of high, because from the previous car dealership that we checked, they were saying that this is the only thing and this is the list. So do you want to compete on that? That's how we did the transaction. So you really need to have an upper hand, because if you don't know what is like the market of APRs or the financing, you will get lost and you will just say yes to whatever they want to say. So especially if you have good credit score, you might want to have an upper hand. And mind you guys, the older the car, the higher the APR. So if you will be getting an older car, I don't know about this until we applied for our car, actually, that the older the unit is, the higher our APR. Because imagine the bank that they gave you this amount of money and the collateral for your loan is this older car. So if you will not be able to pay for that car, like after 3 years, the price of that car already depreciated. So it will be a very big loss on them if the APR is low. The older the car, the higher the APR. So I hope you get what I mean. It's so hard to explain in English, guys, but I'm just doing this because for the sake of the other nationalities who are watching this video, okay? So the next one is to negotiate the price. So most of the time they will put the price on the windshield, or they will have like a card inside. In the first car dealership that we went to, they even showed the price of the car, the APR, and the monthly payment, and like for how many months that you will pay for the car. What I want you to negotiate is the principal price. Like for example, your car is 30,000. Negotiate that, because if you will just negotiate for the APR or for the monthly payment, it's a different thing. So for example, if the car is 30,000 and let's just say monthly payment is probably $500 for a month for 60 months, and then you will say, oh, that is like too big. And then they will tell you that, oh, we can do $350 for 72 months. But then if you will compute the $350 for 72 months, the interest rate is higher, way higher than the 60 months. So when you negotiate for the car, negotiate for the principal price, not the monthly payment, okay? Because in that way, that's how you will win. Be mindful of the other stuff that they will offer you. Like for example, freebie. There is no free stuff in the world. That should be your mindset all the time. When you are in the business industry, the freebies are actually paid already. So when they tell you that, before they tell you the final price, how about you, do you want to get this freebie, or do you want to get this on a discounted price? And it will just add up to your principal price. Then it will be a disaster. You will have a very high principal loan already. And then you will just realize after saying yes to everything that they're offering, you will already get a very high principal loan, and then the APR will still be the same anyway, and then you will have a higher monthly payment. It will be a disaster. So be mindful of those freebies. If you don't really need it, just say no, we don't need it. Don't be shy to say no, because here in the US, guys, you need to speak for yourself, because nobody will speak for you if you're buying this stuff. Be mindful that these people in the sales industry, they are trained to sell stuff. So just say no. And then after negotiating the principal price, now you can apply. So for the application of the loan, if you are not paying it for cash, then you can apply for a loan. Then you will only be needing your SSN or your social security number and just an ID. Because with your social security numbers, they will pass that to all banks. So whoever has the highest credit score will sign first. When the financial officer came back to us, he told us that, oh, because your name has higher credit score, we need to change the application, and we want you to be the first one who will apply, and then your husband will apply the second, like in the application form. So that's how they do it. Took us like an hour of waiting for the banks to approve our loan. During that time, we went to the office and talked to this financial guy, and he was explaining about our loan. He was explaining who accepted our application, who denied our application, and what's the reason why. And you will get a letter from this financial institution who denied your application, explaining why you didn't get to their loan system or whatever. And then he offered us gap insurance. So a gap insurance is just an additional insurance, but some insurance have this lease payoff. So some car insurances have a lease payoff option as well. But if you are only getting the usual car insurance and you didn't add the lease payoff, you might want to add gap insurance, because gap insurance is, for example, your car price is 30,000, let's just say 30,000 from the financial institution, and then you paid 5,000 already for that car, and then you got into an accident, and your normal car insurance just paid for 5,000. So you still have like how much? 20,000, and your car got totaled already. So if you have 20,000 left to pay, you need to pay that from your pocket. But if you have a gap insurance, or if you have a lease payoff insurance, the gap insurance will pay for the 20,000, so that you will not need to pay anything from your pocket. So we got the gap insurance, which is just very cheap, like all throughout until we pay our car. I think it's just like $1,000 until we paid our car. So it's just a protection technically. So I encourage you to already apply for your insurance before starting that car, before you enjoy that car. So insurance and gap insurance. And after that, you can just go home and celebrate that you have an extra car. I hope this video is clear. But if you have more questions regarding on how to purchase a pre-owned car, just comment down below. I hope that I explained it clearly. I tried. It's so hard. It's so difficult to speak in English. But I'm trying. Thank you so much everyone for watching this video. I hope you learned something again today. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do subscribe. And if you haven't followed me yet on my Instagram and on my Facebook, the name is JoyOfMia, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one.
I'm tired of all these Friday nights, and if we're through, I'll go my way. I'd like it if you stay a while. Just up in these sheets to say